After 30 days of struggle, this incredible black woman exposed the truth and changed everything. Angela stood in her kitchen, the smell of burnt toast mingling with the bitter taste of anxiety that hung in the air. It was a typical morning in their small Midwest town, but for Angela, every day felt like a painful reminder of the job she had just lost at the plant. At 35, with 2 young kids, the weight pressing on her shoulders threatened to crush her spirit. Her father, a proud veteran, had always told her that hard work and integrity would see her through, and those words echoed in her mind as eviction notices piled up in the corner like dark clouds that wouldn't lift. "Mommy, I'm hungry," her son called from the living room, and her heart twisted. Those 2 little faces, full of innocence, relied on her. With each bill that went unpaid, a fire ignited within her, not just for her own survival but for the many others who had lost their jobs, especially those whose struggles often went unnoticed. Just days earlier, whispers of corruption at the plant circulated through town, a place where people worked hard, only to face layoffs that seemed to unfairly target workers of color. She felt it was no longer just about her, it was about justice. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. As the days rolled on, Angela reached out to those in her community, uniting them with whispers of hope. They gathered in the back of the diner, where the flickering neon light outside barely illuminated the pain etched on their faces. It felt like a turning point. Angela felt emboldened, channeling her fears into a collective roar of resilience. They shared stories of hardship, feeling heard for the first time, igniting a passion that forced her to take action. At family dinners, her father recounted tales from his service, reminding them that even the smallest acts of bravery could lead to a monumental change. That pivotal night, Angela organized a town hall meeting. As she stood before a crowd of weary faces, her heart raced. Tension filled the air, surging like a powerful current. She took a deep breath, letting their collective hopes wash over her. "This isn't just about me losing a job," Angela asserted. "This is about all of us being treated with respect and dignity." The room buzzed with energy, eyes wide and sparked by recognition. Obscured frustrations began to bubble up, she was leading them into uncharted waters. But then, chaos erupted. A few in the crowd turned hostile, trying to silence her voice. Angela's chest tightened. The stakes felt insurmountable. Would this moment tear her community apart, or could it become the bridge they needed to connect? As she grasped for her voice, the room buzzed with anxiety and expectation. She could almost see the threads of possibility weaving together. Could they find unity in this battle for justice? Angela stood on that precipice, grappling with the weight of her truth, heart pounding, the future of her town hanging in the balance. Would fighting for justice provide the healing they all so desperately needed, or would it deepen the rifts that were already tearing at the seams of their lives? As the tension grew thick, a single question lingered in the air: what would she choose? As the angry voices in the crowd began to drown out her own, Angela felt panic grip her heart. She looked into the eyes of those around her, frustration, hope, fear all swirling together in a chaotic dance. Their faces were a mirror of her own anxiety, and she knew she had to push through. With a deep breath, she stood taller, shaking off the weight of their resistance like a shroud. "Listen to me," Angela shouted, her voice cutting through the disarray. "I understand your anger. It's valid. But this fight isn't just mine. It's ours." Pushing past the clamor, her words ignited a flicker of recognition in the crowd. One by one, nods of agreement began to ripple through the room. "Yeah," a woman shouted from the back, her voice strong and unwavering. "We've all been dismissed too long. That spark lit the fire for others to contribute. Voices that had been silent began to arise, sharing their stories of working late shifts, tears in their eyes, and pride eroded. The hate dissipated, replaced by a burgeoning sense of camaraderie. Angela's mind raced with potential plans. She envisioned rallies, maybe even a march, something that could make the community's voice impossible to ignore. As she spoke of the very real threat of injustice looming above them, she felt energy surge around the room. Anger transformed into determination, and hope blossomed amid despair. They would fight not just for jobs but for dignity. Amid the rekindled spirit, Angela caught the eye of Mr. Thompson, the plant manager. He stood at the edge of the crowd, arms crossed, face masked with arrogance. A deep frown creased his brow. Was he here to mock them, or was he weighing the strength of their united front? She couldn't let intimidation cloud her mission. This was about bigger issues, issues that outweighed one single man. We will not bow down. Angela continued, her tone unwavering. We are strong. We are resilient. Together, we can make them hear us. She raised her fists, igniting the room into a thunderous applause. For a moment, hope felt tangible, like they were connected with a thread woven between their hearts, pulling them closer to justice. After the meeting concluded, people lingered in the diner, embracing one another, exchanging phone numbers, and sharing plans to meet again. Angela stepped outside, feeling the cool night air wash over her. The tension in her chest eased, replaced by a thrilling mix of excitement and fear of the unknown. Could they actually do this? Could they take on the system? The next few days turned into a whirlwind of activity. Flyers were made, social media pages were launched, and meetings overflowed with passionate voices. Yet, amidst the hustle and fervor, her children still needed her. Late-night planning sessions meant less time spent with them. Guilt bubbled beneath her skin. Was she neglecting her little ones in pursuit of something bigger? One evening, while preparing dinner, her daughter tugged at her apron. "Mommy, are you leaving again?" The little girl asked, her eyes wide with concern. The question whipped through Angela like a cold gust of wind. The last thing she wanted was for her children to feel alone. "I'm doing this for us, sweetheart," she replied softly, touching her daughter's cheek. "For a better future." Then, as if sensing the conflict within her, her daughter asked, "What's a better future if you're not here?" Angela froze. Tears prickled at the corners of her eyes. The weight of responsibility stood heavy on her heart. This was her battle too, but how could she balance both worlds? As her daughter's innocent gaze pierced her resolve, doubt crept into her mind. What kind of mother would she be if she fought for change but lost her connection at home? Yet, just as the turmoil began to overpower her, a breakthrough came from within. She realized that this fight wasn't separate from her role as a mother, it was all part of the same struggle. She was setting an example for them, showing her children the value of courage, unity, and resilience. But just as she felt a surge of purpose, her phone buzzed on the counter. A message flickered on the screen from an anonymous source. "We're watching you, Angela. Don't push too hard." Fear washed over her once again. Who was this? What would be the cost of their fight? As the shadows of doubt seeped back in, she stared into the night, wondering how deep this battle would go. Could she confront not just the corporate behemoths but also the unseen threats that lurked in her path? The stakes were much higher than she had ever imagined. Would she find the strength to face what lay ahead? Angela lay in bed, staring at the ceiling as the weight of uncertainty pressed down on her. The hum of her children's soft breaths was both comforting and burdensome. She wanted to fight, but every moment in the community felt like a new battle, and the threat looming over her added a jagged edge to her purpose. She turned to her side, pulling the blanket tighter around her shoulders, wishing for clarity. The next morning, the sun seeped through the blinds, igniting a new sense of determination within her. She realized she had to gather her strength not just for herself, but for everyone counting on her. After sharing a quick breakfast with her kids, she slipped on a pair of well-worn sneakers and headed out, the sun warm against her skin, igniting her spirit for the day ahead. The community center buzzed with energy. People were already gathering for the town hall meeting, faces filled with a mix of hope and apprehension. As she entered, several recognized her and greeted her with warm smiles. Each one tethered her stronger to the mission they shared. She felt grounded, her resolve rekindled. "All right, everyone," Angela shouted, standing at the front of the room. "Today, we're going to strategize. This fight is bigger than any of us individually. We have to stay connected, stay strong." She felt the crowd pulse with her energy, a heartbeat thumping in rhythm with their shared determination. The discussions flowed freely, with voices sharing ideas that formed a web of unity. They brainstormed actions, leafleting, speaking to local press, and organizing a community march. It was exhilarating to witness. As each person spoke, Angela marveled at the depth of experience that echoed around her. This wasn't just her journey anymore, it was woven into the very fabric of their community. But Angela couldn't shake the feeling. The anonymous threat loomed heavily in her mind. She needed to know who felt powerful enough to instill fear yet cowardly enough to remain hidden. That fear was a slippery thing, feeding into her doubts and threatening to overshadow the progress they had made. "I can't let this worry trap me," she whispered to herself, taking deep breaths to quell the tension creeping back. She steered her focus, noting the faces around her. Determined, she crossed her arms, looking to the faces that mirrored her steadfastness. "Together we're stronger, right?" Angela smiled. "Right," came the collective response. With each passing moment, the adrenaline coursed through her veins. She began to notice how these gatherings were evolving into something sacred, a sanctuary of support. After the session, a few of her supporters began chatting about the message she received, sharing their own stories of intimidation. It turned out she wasn't alone, others had received warnings too. That was a turning point. There would be no backing down. After the meeting, Angela's heart raced. She headed home, drawing courage from the conversations filling her mind. Could they harness this energy, take it to the streets, and truly show a united front? But as she arrived home, the shadows seemed to stretch longer in the fading light. Something felt amiss. She stepped inside and paused, a nagging feeling trickling down her spine. As she turned the corner to her living room, her breath caught. There, sitting on the coffee table, was an envelope addressed to her. Her heart thudded loudly as she moved closer. What was this? She opened it slowly, dread tightening her chest. Inside were images of her at the planning sessions, standing boldly in front of the crowd, captivating everyone with her fearless words. And across them, a typed message read, "This is your warning. Stop now or face the consequences." The world blurred around her as the gravity of the moment sank in. She was running out of time. Would she let fear dictate her actions, or would she stand firm in her truth? Angela's fingers trembled as she held the envelope. She could either close the door on their fight or push forward, knowing the stakes had just elevated. The decision weighed heavily on her, and yet she could feel the embodiment of her community's strength wrapped around her, tightening her resolve. Just as she processed the unfolding emotions, her phone buzzed in her pocket, interrupting her thoughts. A message from an unknown number. "It's time to decide, Angela. Are you in or out?" The battle was far from over. In that moment, she vowed to push forward, to uncover not just the truth for herself but for all those who felt powerless. Would her passion be enough to brave the storm that brewed ahead? The answer was closer than she thought. Angela took a deep breath, her heart racing as she stared at the ominous message on her phone. The weight of the envelope still hung heavy in her grip, a reminder that shadows lingered just outside her resolve. She felt her thoughts racing like a whirlwind. What did it mean to decide? Did she even have a choice? Pushing through the haze, she sat down at the kitchen table. Sunlight spilled across the room, illuminating the dust motes dancing in the air. Her children's laughter echoed from the other room, reminding her of why she had to keep going. The stakes were no longer just about her, they were about creating a safer world for them. A world where fear didn't settle like a fog over their community. Determined, she pulled out her phone and messaged the group chat with the supporters from the meeting. "We need to meet tonight. My place. Everyone. I have something to discuss." She hit send, her heart pounding at the thought of what lay ahead. As the afternoon melted into evening, a small crowd began to gather at Angela's home. Their faces, once strangers, now felt like family, an alliance forged in anxiety and hope. Each individual entered the room, bringing their collective burdens and dreams, filling the space with an electric anticipation. "Thank you for coming," Angela said, standing up to address the group. She caught the eyes of her closest friends Maria, Sam, and Judith. They nodded at her, filling her with courage. "I know we're all feeling the pressure. I received a warning today, and I know others have too. It's time we strategize and take action." The room fell silent, the tension palpable. Angela could see fear behind the faces, but she also recognized resilience waiting to break free. "This fight isn't just ours anymore. It's for everyone around us. We deserve a voice. We deserve peace." Sam stood up, his brows knitted in concern. "Angela, what if we push back and things turn dangerous? What if the threats escalate?" Angela felt her heart race, but she steadied herself. "I understand the fear. But standing still won't keep us safe. What is scarier, stepping into the light, or letting darkness dictate our lives?" A murmur traveled through the crowd as they exchanged glances. Maria, ever the deep thinker, chimed in. "Maybe we can hold a community rally? Bring people together and let our voices drown out their silence." "Yes!" shouted Judith, her voice ringing with enthusiasm. "Show them that we're united. Let us show them the changes we demand." With each idea, the energy in the room began to shift, excitement bubbled up, pushing back against the shadow of fear. They discussed plans for flyers, creating a social media wave, and reaching out to local activists who could amplify their voice. Hours passed in a blur of discussion and laughter, each person contributing until the plan began to take shape. Suddenly Angela's phone buzzed again, an alert, notification from the community message board. She glanced down and felt her stomach twist. "Beware of gatherings. Your actions will have consequences." A chill ran down her spine as the words echoed in her mind. The world outside her community felt unfamiliar, but the room filled with friendly faces felt like a fortress against the storm brewing around them. "This is it," Angela thought, determination returning in waves. "It's about more than just us now." As the meeting drew to a close, they made a pact to come together the next day at dawn, to spread their message loud and clear. They would not be silenced. Angela walked to her front door to wave goodbye as everyone left, a sense of weightlessness filling the air around her. They would face this together. But as the last of her supporters stepped off her porch, a movement caught her eye. From the shadows of the street corner, a figure watched. Standing still, gaze locked on her home. Who was it? Friend or foe? She felt her breath hitch as she closed the door, the ominous feeling creeping back. Were they being watched? What awaited them the next day? Would their stand rally support or invite further threats? The fear was real, but so was the hope that burned brighter than ever. This was only the beginning. Angela lay in bed that night, staring at the ceiling, the shadows flipping like pages of a book, each one a reminder of her decision. Sleep evaded her, and her mind raced. The figure outside haunted her thoughts. Who was it? Was it truly a warning, or had their push for change already attracted unwanted attention? She pulled the blanket tighter, as if it could shield her from the anxiety that clung to her like a second skin. Morning broke, the first light pale and hesitant, much like her resolve. She slipped out of bed, careful not to wake the children. The smell of coffee brewing was a comforting embrace, a reminder of the normalcy she longed to protect. But today was different, she could feel it. After a quick breakfast, the kids gathered their things for school. Their laughter filled the air, wrapping around her heart like a protective shield. "Mom, can we bring posters today?" her youngest asked, eyes brimming with excitement. "Of course. Your voices matter," she replied, trying to muster her own enthusiasm. As she stood outside the school watching them go in, she felt a mix of pride and dread. Today was the day they would rally. A community coming together. She clutched her phone tightly, her lifeline to the world she was about to step into. As she walked back to her car, she glanced again at the street corner where she had seen the figure. Empty. Her heart raced. Had they vanished, or were they still lurking, hidden in plain sight? Meeting up with her friends and supporters was electric. People began to arrive, a swirling mix of excitement and nerves palpable in the air. Maria had brought poster boards, and Judith had snacks to keep up morale. But as they gathered, Angela couldn't shake the feeling that someone was watching. "Angela." Sam's voice broke through her thoughts. "Everyone's ready. We just need you to give the speech." The crowd grew around them, faces filled with hope. Each person represented a story, a struggle, a dream for peace and safety. Angela felt a surge of gratitude. But with it came the weight of responsibility. "Okay, I can do this," she told herself as they set up in the park, the place she had chosen for their stand. As she took a deep breath and stepped onto the makeshift stage, a wave of cheers and chants welcomed her. The sea of familiar faces bolstered her courage. She scanned the crowd, families, friends, the old and the young. Everyone was together in this fight. "Thank you all for being here. Today, we raise our voices for everyone who has been ignored, silenced. We stand for change." Angela shouted, her heart hammering with each word. The cheers erupted, and for a moment, she felt invincible. But then it happened. In the midst of her speech, a motorcycle roared past, slowing as it neared the rally. Angela's heart dropped. The rider wore dark leather, a helmet obscuring their face. They stopped a distance away, watching, their presence a looming shadow over the gathering. The crowd's energy dimmed. Whispers spread like wildfire. Angela felt her pulse quicken. Were they here to intimidate? She pushed through the rising panic. "We will not be silenced," she shouted, hoping to shift the tide. As she spoke, the motorcyclist turned off the engine and stepped off the bike, moving toward the perimeter of the gathering. Angela's mind raced. Did they come as ally or enemy? Then, the unexpected happened. The figure removed their helmet, and Angela's stomach dropped. It was someone she recognized, someone they had trusted. What were they doing here? What did they want? As gasps rippled through the crowd, Angela's thoughts spiraled. Was this a betrayal or a chance for truth? She faced the figure, both fear and determination clashing inside her. The noise of the rally faded into a tense silence. Everyone's eyes were fixed on the newcomer. "Are you here to help us, or to shut us down?" she asked, voice wavering but strong. Angela's question hung in the air like a thunderclap. What would happen next? And what truth lay behind the face she once thought she knew? How far would they go to protect what they believed in? The figure stepped closer, the tension thick like fog wrapping around them. Angela's heart raced. She caught hints of recognition beneath the leather jacket and the familiar stance. It was Marlon, a community activist who had been at her side during countless meetings, someone she had believed to be a steadfast ally. But his presence now felt like a weight on her chest. "Marlon?" she exclaimed, her voice almost breaking. He nodded, a flicker of something unreadable in his eyes. "Angela, we need to talk. Please." His tone had shifted from the confident rhythm she remembered to something softer, almost desperate. Before she could process this unexpected plea, Judith stepped forward. "What is the meaning of this? Are you here to support us or intimidate us?" Her fierce protectiveness was evident, echoing what many in the crowd felt. Angela glanced at the faces before her: fear, confusion, and a flicker of hope. They had all come to stand for change, to reject silence. She couldn't let Marlon's sudden appearance take that from them. "Marlon, if you're here to disrupt us, you need to know we won't back down," Angela said, her voice steadier than her trembling hands. "Disrupt? No!" he exclaimed, shaking his head fervently. "I'm here because I heard something that could change everything, and not in the way you think." The crowd buzzed with murmurs, eyes darting between Angela and Marlon. Whispers of betrayal mixed with glimmers of curiosity. He raised a hand, asking for silence, and slowly, the crowd quieted. "I've been investigating some things," he continued, his breathing heavier. "The people we trusted, some of them have been playing both sides. They want to suppress all of this." He gestured toward the rally, the makeshift signs, and the hope shimmering in the air. Angela's gut twisted. Could it be true? She thought of the people who had rallied behind them, who had put their faith in change. "Why didn't you say anything sooner?" she demanded, emotions threatening to spill over. "We could have used this information." "I had to gather proof first," he replied, frustration tinged with urgency in his voice. "I didn't want to cause unnecessary panic. But I've seen things, heard conversations. They think they can manipulate us, that we're too divided to stand strong." Angela could see the passion in his eyes, but doubt crept in like shadows. Was he being honest? Or was he trying to sway her from the mission they had begun together? "But we're not divided. Look around," Angela emphasized, her heart pounding with determination. "You all matter, and together, our truth is more powerful than their lies." The crowd cheered again, filling the space with their energy. It was like a spark igniting a flame. But in the back of Angela's mind, Marlon's words echoed. What if their unity was threatened from within? "Marlon," she said slowly, meeting his gaze. "If you're telling the truth, we need to expose this. But if you're lying, God help us." As she spoke, energy shifted again. People were watching, waiting for direction. She could feel the weight of their eyes, expectation mingling with fear. Marlon held up his phone, revealing a video that made her blood run cold. "This is what I filmed. It seems innocent, but trust me, it's a cover-up, one that launches deep into our community." Gasps filled the crowd as some leaned closer to see the screen. Angela felt the heat of anxiety creeping up her neck. The stakes were higher than she had imagined. She turned back to face the crowd. "We need to see this. If we're going to stand strong for change, we need the truth, whatever it may be." Determination surged, but the fear still lingered like smoke in the air. As she faced Marlon, doubt gnawed at the edges of her thoughts. Would this revelation bring them together or tear them apart? The moment stretched, thick with uncertainty. Angela could feel the impending storm on the horizon, an inescapable clash between truth and loyalty. "Show us!" someone shouted from the crowd, their voice trembling with both courage and fear. Marlon hesitated, his face a mask of conflict. Would this moment shift everything they fought for? Did he grasp the gravity of what lay ahead? Angela clutched her heart. The new battle was just beginning. The truth was right before them, but the question loomed heavy: would it save or doom their cause? Just as Marlon pressed play, the earth felt like it tilted beneath her feet. She held her breath, a new wave of uncertainty crashing over her. What would they discover, and what kind of fight would that truth ignite? The video flickered to life, casting a dim glow on Marlon's tense face. Angela's heart raced as she leaned closer, straining to catch every detail. The screen showed a dimly lit room filled with familiar faces. There were community leaders, the ones who had shaken hands with her, smiled in her presence. The betrayal stung like ice. "Listen to this," Marlon urged, his eyes wide but filled with a determined fire. The audio was grainy but clear enough. "We can't let them know. If the truth gets out, they'll fight back, and we'll lose our control," one voice warned. Angela's stomach churned. This was real. This was deep. Judith gasped, her hand flying to her mouth. "How long has this been going on?" "I don't know," Marlon whispered, still entranced by the unfolding horror on the screen. "But they have layers of lies stacked on lies." Angela felt the weight of disbelief settle over the crowd like dark clouds. They had fought for change, only to realize they were being undermined by those they thought were allies. She looked at Judith, the fear in her friend's eyes mirrored her own. "What do we do?" Judith asked, voice trembling. "Do we confront them? Expose everything now? What if they're prepared for that? What if they turn the community against us?" Angela's voice was small as she voiced her fear. "We need a plan, a strategy, something we can stand on." Marlon nodded, his resolve returning. "I have more footage. We can build a case, show the community the truth. But, we have to be careful. Timing is everything." The crowd stirred, grappling with the revelation. Hope flickered like a candle against the wind, but it was still there. The energy shifted again, from confusion to determination. "So, we show them the proof," someone finally stepped forward, fists clenched by their side. "We don't let them silence us." Angela felt the tide rising. "Yes. But we gather our evidence first. We show them that they can't keep playing us." "What if they come after us?" Judith asked, her voice small but filled with resolve. "What if we become their target?" Angela inhaled deeply, fighting the urge to let fear take root. "Let them come. We stand together. If we face this head-on, the community will rally behind us. We lift each other up, and we expose the truth together." The crowd erupted with shouts of agreement, their unity forming a wall against the impending storm. They had come too far to back down now. Angela's heart swelled with pride. In this moment, she felt the pulse of their shared fight beating strong. Marlon stepped forward again, his demeanor shifting from desperation to a fierce determination that Angela had always loved about him. "I'll help you. I've got the contacts, the resources. But we need to move quickly. The people behind this will see us coming if we don't act fast." Angela glanced at her supporters. They were ready, filled with a raw energy she had only dreamt of before. "Let us meet tonight," she called out, her voice cutting through the shouts and murmurs. "We strategize, we unite, and we prepare to reveal the truth." One by one, heads bobbed in agreement. But as the crowd began to disperse, the nagging doubt lingered. What if this truth splintered them? What if revealing the truth didn't unite but tore them apart? Marlon caught her gaze, the unspoken tension between them palpable. "We'll figure it out," he said fiercely, though Angela wasn't so sure. As she walked away, the weight of their mission settled on her shoulders. The fight was far from over. And lurking in her mind was a feverish question: were they ready for what came next? Chapter by chapter, they were climbing the mountain of truth. But would the summit be liberation, or an avalanche of betrayal? Angela gripped her phone tightly, a lifeline in a world spinning out of control. Outside the rally, the night deepened, and clouds gathered, mirroring the storm raging within her gut. Something was brewing, and she had to be ready for whatever was lurking just around the corner. The rain began to fall, thick drops smacking the pavement like a wake-up call. Angela stepped into the night air, the chilled breeze mingling with the tension still coiling in her chest. She pulled her jacket closer, not just for warmth but as a makeshift shield against the world that suddenly felt hostile. Each footstep echoed in her mind, a reminder of the weight she carried. The meetup location was an old community center, one the group had used for meetings before. It felt like a safe space, yet a part of her wondered if it would turn into a battleground. As she approached, she saw shadows moving, gathering, the silhouettes of people coming together. There was determination in their posture, a stark contrast to the uncertainty that churned inside her. Marlon was already there, pacing nervously by the door. "Angela. You made it," he called, his relief palpable. "I was beginning to worry," she smiled tightly. "Wouldn't he miss it?" The inside of the center buzzed with voices, some familiar, others not. As people filled the room, Angela noticed faces that spoke of worry, fear, but also resilience. They were ready to fight. "Let us get started," Angela said, raising her hand to quiet the room. "Tonight, we share what we know, and we build a blueprint for action." One by one, they took turns sharing information, piecing together the puzzle that had been slamming into their lives like a runaway train. The air was thick with their voices, all coming together to chase away the shadows of betrayal. Each story brought a flicker of hope, but Angela could sense the undercurrents of fear. After a few hours of deliberation, Marlon stood up. "I've done some digging. There's a rally this weekend, and they plan to push their agenda even harder. We can't let them. If we go in there with everything we've found, we can make an impact." Angela felt her heart race. This was it. The moment they'd been training for, but the weight of responsibility pressed down on her shoulders. "We need to prepare a statement. Something powerful that sums up everything we've learned. It has to resonate. Why not bring in some of the people who were at the meeting?" Judith suggested. "Let them share their names. Their faces. Show that this isn't just about us." "That's bold," Marlon said, a spark lighting his eyes. "But it could work. If they see real people, it might just break through their defenses." Angela caught Judith's gaze, and she sensed uncertainty mingling with the rush of adrenaline. "We need to make sure everyone is willing," Angela added. "This isn't just a game. It's personal, and their safety is paramount." The conversation swirled around them, ideas bouncing off walls like light. As the night wore on, Angela felt a fire ignite within her. They were building something beautiful, a movement. Yes, it was terrifying, and yes, it could explode in their faces. But she knew they had to press on. Marlon leaned closer, his voice barely above a whisper. "Just remember, once we do this, there is no turning back." Angela nodded slowly. The thrill of danger tinged her excitement. They were on the cusp of something that could change everything. But that quiet voice of doubt lingered in her mind. What if the community turned against them? Would they shatter rather than unite in this fight? Suddenly, a loud crack echoed outside, followed by frantic voices. The atmosphere shifted again. Fear gripped her heart as she glanced toward the door. What was happening? "Stay here," Marlon ordered, his eyes sharp and alert. Angela's heart raced. What if something's wrong? We can't just wait. But then the realization hit her. They might be out there, the very people they were exposing. She felt cold fear wash over her. Were they too late to stop the tide of anger that might be approaching? She took a deep breath, steeling herself for whatever came next. The storm outside raged on, and she knew the real battle was just beginning. Could they stand firm against the backlash, or would the tide of betrayal wash them all away? Angela's heart thundered in her chest. The crack of thunder was a punctuation mark to the chaos brewing outside. She stood firm, caught between the instinct to flee and the need to protect those gathered. What if it's the people we're standing against? Judith's voice trembled. She was pale, eyes wide, reflecting Angela's own fears. Marlon turned toward the door, prepared to confront whatever or whoever was threatening their fragile moment of unity. "We need more information. I can listen outside." "No. Angela's voice broke through the murmur of fear. We can't risk it. If they're out there, they're not going to just walk away. We have to go together. We can't split up. The room fell silent. The other faces looked from Marlon to Angela, weighing the tension. We came here to fight, Angela continued, her voice gaining strength. Let us not let fear at the door make us forget that. Marlon's gaze softened. You're right. We need to stay united. Just as he spoke, the main doors of the community center slammed open, letting in a rush of wind and rain. A shadowy figure stumbled in, dripping wet, fear etched across their features. Help! The figure cried, nearly collapsing on the floor. Angela rushed forward, instinct kicking in. What happened? She knelt beside the newcomer. It was a woman, disheveled and panicked, her breaths coming in short gasps. I saw them, they're coming. They're organizing against you. We need to move. A collective gasp echoed around the room. Judith's hand flew to her mouth. Who's coming? Angela pressed, the urgency in her voice pulling the rest of the group closer. The organizers, the woman stammered, her eyes darting back to the door. They realized what you're planning. They're out, gathering supporters. They'll be here any minute. Did you see them? Marlon asked, keeping his tone steady, though his worry was clear. They were shouting. Talking about facing you head-on, she said, shaking so hard that it was difficult for Angela to decipher her words. They said they're ready to fight back. They're going to use everything they've got. The weight of her words settled over the room like fog. Angela stood, feeling the dread but also an unexpected surge of determination. Then we fight back. But how? A voice called from the back. They'll have more people. They might, but we have heart, Angela said, looking around at the faces that had gathered. This is about so much more than numbers. This is about our truth. If we're going to face them, we need to be out there with clarity, strength, and solidarity. The energy shifted. There was a spark in the air, a growing sense of resolve. Marlon spoke up again. Let us get everyone on the same page. We need our statement ready, and we need people to come support us, no matter the cost. We have to show them we're more than just a rumor. Angela nodded vigorously. Let us make it happen. Reach out, spread the word. We can't let fear dictate our actions. The group buzzed with renewed energy as they began planning. But in the back of her mind, the shadows loomed larger than before. What would happen when they faced the backlash? As the minutes passed, Angela prepared for the storm ahead, her heart fluttering between hope and fear. It was a desperate dance, and she couldn't shake the feeling that this was just the beginning. The noise outside grew louder, voices rising like a tide. The moment was close, the tension crackled in the room. Angela, Marlon said, drawing her attention. Once we step out there, we're exposed. There's no turning back. She locked eyes with him, the gravity of their resolve sinking in. Let us make sure they know who stands with us, she replied, determination thick in her voice. But deep down, a question lingered. Would their voices truly be enough to drown out the oncoming storm? As they pushed toward the exit, silence threatened, the weight of uncertainty looming larger than the rain pounding at the door. Would they be able to claim their truth? Or would they be swept away by the tidal wave of anger outside? Angela stood at the doorway, her heart pounding like a drum. The crowd outside surged with energy, restless with anticipation. She inhaled deeply, trying to ground herself. This was her moment to step into the light or to risk every ounce of hope she had gathered. Are we ready? She called over the din, her voice rising above the chaos. Everyone in the room nodded, their determination lighting the air. Then let us go. Angela declared, pushing the door wide open to face the storm together. As they stepped outside, a wave of noise washed over them, shouts, angry chants, and fear-filled whispers. The opposition had gathered, a sea of faces twisted with frustration, but Angela's heart surged with resolve. With each step out into the tempest, she felt a bond strengthen among her supporters. They were more than a group, they were a family, united in purpose. "Marlon!" she shouted, spotting him at her side. "Let us get that statement to them, they need to see that we're standing firm." Marlon took a deep breath, steeling himself. "Together, we can make them hear us," he urged, confidence emanating from him as they moved closer to the front lines of the opposing crowd. Angela raised her voice, amplifying every ounce of hope she could muster. "Listen to us," she cried. The gathering quieted momentarily, curiosity peaking amidst the threat of chaos. She raised her head high, locking eyes with the tension in the crowd before her. "Many of us have taken hits, lost jobs, lost trust, lost lives impacted by decisions made behind closed doors. But we are here to reclaim our voice." The words poured from her like a river, steady and unstoppable. "We are not here to fight each other but to stand together for what is right." The murmurs grew, emotions flipping through the air, doubt, surprise, and even recognition. Her words carved through the fear, urging empathy to rise. Behind her, her friends rallied, each person adding their own voice to swell the chorus. "We deserve respect." Judith chimed in, her tone fierce yet warm. For a moment, it felt as if the world was suspended, holding its breath for what next would happen. The opposing crowd wavered, caught between anger and compassion, uncertainty shimmering in their eyes. Then, a voice like thunder boomed from the other side. "You think you can just come here and turn this around? You're outnumbered." A man snarled, stepping forward with a clenched fist. Angela felt the surge of fear at those words, encasing her heart in ice. But with a swift glance at her supporters, she charged the anxiety with a sense of purpose. "Our numbers may be small, but our hearts are mighty. We will tell our stories, we will stand our ground, and we will fight for those who cannot." Suddenly, the voice of a child broke through, tiny and innocent. "Mommy! Don't be scared." A little girl behind the opposition spoke up, her eyes large and hopeful. Angela turned to see a young girl breaking through the adults, standing between her comrades. It was a pure moment, untainted by the prejudice that often divided them. Fear melted like snow in sunlight. "Together, we can change things," the girl cried. "So why are we fighting?" Stunned silence echoed in the air, the kind that holds the universe in its breath. Her words struck, resonating with the crowd, piercing the armor of hostility. That single moment transformed everything. Angela seized the opportunity, pushing ahead to capture the crowd's heart. "This is a reminder of why we're here. It's time for us to listen to each other, heal together, and find a way forward." The walls began to crack as the anger that once bound them faded into understanding. One by one, faces softened, shifting from hostility to contemplation. A man stepped forward cautiously. "I lost my job, too. My kids, they deserve better." New voices joined in with heavy stories, their pain echoing against the backdrop of truth. As more shared, the walls of division turned into a bridge. What had begun as a chaotic confrontation morphed into a collective understanding of shared struggles and courage. "This isn't just about jobs," Angela breathed, tears glistening in her eyes. "This is about dignity, respect, love for one another." The crowd shifted, movement swaying toward solidarity as hands reached out across divides. Together, they built a new narrative and pushed back against the dark whispers that sought to divide them. In this moment of transformation, Angela felt tears fall freely, pooling warmth in her heart. She turned to Marlon, his eyes shining with pride. He squeezed her shoulder, affirming their shared triumph. They were changing the dialogue. It wasn't just an evening to fight, it was a rallying call for every voice. The unity built that day laid the foundation they needed. It was no longer just about exposing the truth but standing for it together when it mattered most. They dreamed together, strategizing, hoping, and planning what came next for their community. A movement had begun, a turning tide anchored in the strength of their truth. As the evening faded into night, the storm passed, leaving behind fresh possibilities. Together, they had defied the shadows and ignited the first spark of change. Hand in hand, heart to heart, they committed to lead their community into a hopeful tomorrow. This was the moment they had fought for, and it was just the beginning. And now, if you want to see more incredible stories like this one, you need to subscribe immediately to the channel. Do not wait. Hit that notification bell so you won't miss our next exclusive tales. Leave a like right now to feed the algorithm and help spread the message of hope and perseverance. Comment below with your reactions and feelings about this ending. I want to hear from all of you. And share this video instantly with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Don't wait not even one more second to share the power of unity. True fans know the importance of supporting the channel.